it's your girl Sherry's Joy here from BookMarked. I am on vacation. This is 2026. Let's start the year off right. I read another book. I'm very excited to be introduced to this author, Samantha Downing, and I read Too Old for This. Too Old for This. So this book came out in August of 2025, which was just last year, and it was such a good book. I say that a lot. I love to read, you guys. So it was such a really good book. This book it was about, okay, so I try not to do spoilers. Like if I'm gonna do spoilers, there's like gonna be a whole nother episode. However, I will do some light spoilers, nothing major, right? I'm not gonna like ruin the story for you or anything like that. So this book, we're on the West Coast. So we're in Oregon, and we have Miss Lorena May Lansdale. And I got my notes. Okay, so Lottie, aka Lottie, she is I believe she's 75 years old. I mean, it doesn't really specify her age now, but just by calculating everything, what's in the book and all the information given, I am speculating, or I am guessing that she's age 75. And we start off, she's in this big, huge house, in Oregon, a small town Oregon, and she has her friends. She's got like her church friends. She's very social with them. She tries to stay away from like her neighbors and out of the social media and off of social media and the internet. She has a son. His name is Archie, and he's a grown man. He's been married before, has a kid, and he is actually engaged to somebody that's like half his age right now. So like 26, I believe it said she was. And why are we here? So we start off with this little old lady, which 75 isn't really that old. However, you are as old as you act and feel. Everybody's different. So anyway, so 75 years old, Lottie, she's got a knock on the door in the evening time. She's about to go to bed, and she's like, what is going on? Who is this? So she opens the door to see who it is, and it's this girl. Her name is Plum Dixon. And there's like a bunch of jokes there's like a small joke in there, but that's like really her name. She's like, yes. So Plum Dixon is there to visit Lottie because she's been calling her, trying to get her attention, trying to get her, her to answer her phone, because Plum she's a filmmaker, and she is a true crime researcher. So she's doing this docuseries on these crimes that were committed 36 years ago. Or excuse me, not 36 years, 39 years ago is my calculation. It is actually 39 years ago. Um, and so these crimes were committed 39 years ago, where three people were on purpose, and Lottie was actually blamed. She was a suspect, and she was not arrested, and she did not go to jail for these crimes because of some things that I'm not going to get into, because those would be spoilers. So Plum, she comes to visit because she actually wants to interview Lottie for this series. And then, Lottie has been like, well, it's like, so how did you find me? Because she's been in hiding, not really in hiding, but she changed her name, and she moved these crimes took place in Spokane, Washington state, right? And so she moved to Oregon to get away from that. She changed her name. She changed her son's name to kind of stay out of the limelight, if you will. She was 36 years old when this happened, and she just wanted to move on and live her life. Okay, so we find out that she was wrongfully accused, and she sued the city of Spokane, the police department, and she was actually given a settlement. So she took that settlement money and uprooted her life and moved to Oregon in this big home that she paid for outright, and she lived there with her son and raised her son in this small town. And like I said, she's very careful with staying off of the internet and social media. Whenever you take her picture, her head's always turned or something to where you can't see her face, because she doesn't want anybody to find her. She's just, lost. So my first thought was like, okay, you moved like one state down. There's like a whole country here, but okay. So anyway, she comes to visit and all this other stuff. So she's like being all hospitable. Would you like some tea? And no, you know how to go through this trouble and all this other stuff. So they're like having a conversation. And she's so nice. Like I don't quite picture Mrs. Doubtfire, but I picture and in my mind, I can hear like, oh dear, would you like tea? Cause like she honestly, for the tea, she brings out like cream and sugar, like milk, as if it's coffee. And I'm just like, is she a little British old lady or something? I don't know people who put milk and cream and stuff like that in their tea who are like Americans. Now, I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying there aren't people out there who are American who don't do that. I just don't I don't know any. And I do have some British friends and they do, the milk and cream is a thing in England. However, this is not about that. So she offers her the tea and everything. They're like having a conversation, and then she turns, she turns around. She goes to get something or whatever, and she goes to like to adjust her plant or something like that, where she has like this umbrella stand, and she gets the umbrella, and she knocks Plum out, and Plum is like gone, her life and on purpose. And so I'm like, wow. And this is like the first chapter. And so in the first chapter already, we have like sarcasm. We've got like the sweet old lady. We've got like permanently being off on purpose. We've got this true crime. And we've got like this something that happened in the 80s. And I am like, yes, give this is like all is in my wheelhouse. This is everything that I love. So from there, it's like, okay, well, what happens to Plum? So now we have Plum's boyfriend. His name is Cole, who wants to find her. So obviously he contacts Lottie to find out, hey, what happened to her and all this other stuff. Lottie has to clean up the mess, and she does. And the way she cleans it up is like, what? This little old lady is like doing this. And again, that's what I'm saying. Like I calculate that she's 75, but you're only as old as you think you are and as you act, right? And she is on top of things. Like she's always like 3 steps ahead of everybody. And she's so clever, and she's not a dumb criminal, if you will, right? So what happened? So when she was 36 years old in Spokane, Washington in 1984 or 5, she was a bank teller, and she had a one night stand with a customer. No, no, no. I've been a bank teller before. And yeah, so anyway, so she had a one night stand with a with a customer, and they're having their date, and they go back to his house and do the do, and he's like, let's take a shower, and this is kind of a spoil. So it's like, let's take a shower. So they go take a shower, and yes, this is a spoil. I'm sorry, I can't not. He says to her, no. So they're like taking a shower, and she says to him, do you still think that I'm pretty? And he's like, you're all right. And she was like, it was like she morphed into like, I could literally see like her morph into what? And so she pushes him, but not like a shove, right? It wasn't like on purpose. It was like, stop. And he slips backwards, and I can see this. Like this writing is so vivid. I love it. I can see him going, whoa, 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 and just like slips back into the shower and boom, hits his head. So that was like a on purpose, but not. It wasn't on purpose. It was an accident. And then she got the taste, right? She got the taste for that. Like it felt good to her because in her mind, he insulted her. And so she felt satisfied with what happened. And so that was the beginning of her spree. It wasn't even a spree. We only know of 2 more, and I won't spoil those. I will say that she wasn't just like going off and just like being people on purpose for the heck of it. There were things that were happening, and I'm telling you, you heard the phrase "Mama Bear." That's a thing. so yeah. So I mean, so we move forward to the now, and people are trying to figure out what happened to Plum. You've got this police officer team that comes, Kelsey and Tula. They come to visit her, to question her, because they know that Plum was there to question her, but they don't know why. So she's like, I don't know, she came to the house, I don't know why she would want to interview me and all this other stuff. So we got the cops that we're dealing with, this team here, and then we've got like Cole, Plum's boyfriend, and then here comes the mother, Plum's mother. We're dealing with her now, and then we're like, she's in the middle of like her son is getting married soon, and this woman that she's marrying, her name is Megan. She's like 25 or something like that, and she just wants to be accepted by by Lottie, or by her future mother-in-law. So she's got Megan, who's like, what do you think about this dress? What do you think about that dress? Oh, she didn't respond to me, Archie. She doesn't like me. She doesn't like this, and I don't know what to do. So she really wants, she just wants acceptance. So she shows up at Lottie's house unexpected. I was like, oh, you didn't know? Because like Archie didn't tell her that she was showing up. So she's got that to deal with. Then Lottie has the ex-wife to deal with. Can you believe he's getting married? And oh my goodness. And then, and then she's got her two grandchildren that are teenagers who are supposed to go to the wedding and kind of be in it or have something to do with it. But the mother wants them to stay at grandma's house. And grandma's like, yeah, I don't think your teenagers want to stay in a boring house with grandma when they could stay at the hotel with the rest of the family and have fun with everybody else, right? And I mean, so you're dealing with all of these things, and it's like the psyche of this book has such a, to me, it had like such a comedic undertone. It was like sarcastic and it was comedic and it was just all in one. And I really enjoyed that. This was, I did not listen to the audio of this. I actually just read it. It was a complete page turner. It was like 395 pages. And it took me maybe about altogether 4 days to read it. Um, and that is because, I read it during the weekday when I was working. So that's kind of like the only reason why. My favorite time to read this book, I kid you not, I love it. You call it the witching hour, whatever you want to call it. I love waking up. My cats wake me up and in the middle of the night is insane. And I love reading at 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Those 2 hours, I absolutely love it. And this was perfect to read within that time frame. But that's not the only time I read it. Like it was like I cozied on up with whatever, beverage I had, my coffee or just my whatever. And I read it. So I highly recommend this book. Obviously, I think I said this before. If not, I rated a 5. Go check it out. I did get it from my local library. Support your local library. Libby app, shout out, best thing. And, it's good. So I am going to read, I have another book from Samantha Downing that I am going to read, and I am going to also listen to the audio of that. I do have some new things coming up that I'm very excited. I've got a new rating criteria that I can't wait to go over with you or talk about. And it's just gonna be good things, good times. So again, I am Sherry's Joy. I am on socials, I am on Instagram at BookMarkedSJ. I am on, what am I on? Blue Sky and all those things. I'm on Blue Sky at BookMarkedSJ or Sherry's Joy. It's going to be below. I know I jumble this up. I've been doing this for a long time. But more importantly, you can find me here, obviously, on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for your love and your support and, your likes and your shares and your subscriptions. I really appreciate it. And I do enjoy bringing this content to you. I love what I do. I enjoy reading. I love talking about the books that I am reading. I try not to spoil things, but if I do, like I said, I'm going to let you know. Um, Feel free to spread the love. Actually, please do. spread the love, share the word, share the links. Follow me on the socials listed below. I am one half of the DigiKast. You can find the DigiKast also on YouTube at the DigiKast. And we are also on Spotify, YouTube. Well, I just said YouTube, but we are also on Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram at the DigiKast. We bring to you really good content. We do Vacation on a Budget, and we are on a vacation right now. So obviously we have some really awesome things coming up, some videos about our travels and things like that. And you know, it's just great content. Like, we're awesome people, and I couldn't do this without my wonderful, loving husband, whom I love very much. And tomorrow's our anniversary, so happy anniversary! It's our 10 years, and I'm just very excited for all of this. 2026 is going to be such a great year, and I can really feel it in here. And just thank you all again. I am so humble. Shout out to all of you, and love the world.